And what's crazy, you guys, is I only grabbed one Quran. There was a bunch of Qurans on the wall, in the bookshelves, and my eye caught one Quran, and guess what the Quran was? Okay, so I was born and raised Muslim in an Albanian household, and I would love to tell you the full story of the first time I brought my partner to the mosque, because I missed a couple of things. So during Ramadan of 2024, I was practicing more of my faith, getting more into my faith, praying every day. I can't really remember, but I was trying to pray every day. I was reading my Quran and doing all the things, fasting, and I was also showing my partner more of my faith, and I was really happy that he was wanting to learn more as well, and it was such a beautiful thing that we were experiencing, and I was eventually at a certain point ready in myself to finally go to a mosque. When I say that, it's because if you're Muslim, I think you can maybe understand, especially being born and raised Albanian Muslim, the way that we practice our faith is very different from other sorts of faiths, and going to mosques can be very daunting because you're scared that you're going to be judged, that you're not a good enough Muslim. And honestly, that in itself is really harmful, I think, in the community, because it deters people away from their own journey and their path with God. And actually, like, what happened to me in the mosque is kind of an example of this, but there were good moments too. So yeah, I brought my partner to the mosque with me, and I totally thought that there was like a family part of a mosque and you could sit together, but I was heavily mistaken. And so my partner, like a wonderful man, it was so sweet, he went in and he just sat with the men there and watched them pray while I prayed. And also, let's talk about how the men's quarters are so much more beautiful, more brightly lit, bigger than the women's corners. I go upstairs and it's this dark room that was maybe like 15 feet wide. Like, that was crazy. And I was nervous because I was nervous for my partner because he didn't know what he was doing, and the women's like part has this like wall with little holes in it, and I'm trying to look through the holes to find my partner and make sure he's like okay, not freaking out. And while I'm like looking into the men's section, there's these ladies who are going astaghfirullah and like looking at me, and like I'm like, okay, whatever. Anyways, then this girl comes in that's about my age, and she comes in and she prays and then she leaves, and that was so beautiful to see, and that made me feel more secure in being at the mosque. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna grab a Quran and I'm gonna read it for a little bit. And what's crazy, you guys, is I only grabbed one Quran. There was a bunch of Qurans on the wall, in the bookshelves, and my eye caught one Quran, and guess what the Quran was? It's an this is the Quran I found, an Albanian translated Quran. That was insane to me. Insane. That was just so beautiful for me. But in any case, after that I was like, okay, I want to bring a Quran home, and the city I used to live in, you could just get a free Quran anytime you went to the mosque, and so that's what I thought was going on at this mosque. So I found someone, and I was like, I would really love to have a Quran to take home. And this was during like iftar, so it was really busy. Like, there were kids running around screaming at each other. Some of the ladies were screaming at the kids. It was kind of crazy. Iftar starts, and the lady, though, she's just like, okay, follow me, follow me. And I'm just like following her, and she's like taking care of iftar, because they're giving like dinners to everybody in the mosque. Like, they have that as like a program type of thing. And if you don't know, iftar is like during Ramadan is when you break your fast. So from sunrise to sunset you fast, and iftar is when you break your fast. So they did it as like a community thing at the mosque all together. And I'm just kind of like waiting there for the lady to come back to me. So I'm like patiently waiting, and I think she forgot about me. So I was like, hi, like after everything was like, okay. She's like, because she goes to me and she goes, did you eat? And I was like, I ate, don't worry. And she's like, no, you have to eat this for me. And she gets like all this food and she gives it to me. And I was like, she's like, you have to eat it. And I was like, I don't want to eat it. And this is just kind of something to mention a little bit as well. Like, I understand growing up in that kind of community and like household where like you give someone food and you have to eat it for them. But like, I think it should be okay just to not eat something if you don't want to eat something. Just don't, like, I don't know how to say it. I felt so much pressure to eat something to look good in her eyes and to be in a good standard, if that makes sense. So she was giving me food and all I could say was, okay, I'll have it. And when I wasn't eating, she was like judging me. So that was kind of its own thing. But then I finally remind her again. I was like, can I have her Quran? And she's like, wait, I've never seen you in this mosque before. Like, what's your name? And I'm like, my name is Jacqueline. I've never been here. I want to practice more of my faith. I think at that point she thought I was a revert. And I had also told her, like, I have a friend that is a boy waiting for me. Because I didn't want to say boyfriend and I couldn't say husband. So it was very complicated. And then once she kind of pieced everything together, she's like, okay, Jacqueline, you are going to come here every Friday for iftar. We have Saturday and Sunday school. Your friend that's a boy will be friends with the boys of the mosque, and we will make you be friends with the girls of the mosque. And I was like, whoa, that's a bit much. And then I told her, like, she was saying all these things to me. She was like showing me around the mosque. She was like telling me where they do wudu, all the things. And I think eventually I was like, wait, I just want to know you to know, like, I was born Muslim. And if you don't know this, well, I don't know, whatever. I don't know how many Albanians do this, but when I was born, I was given an Islamic name in my ear. And my Islamic name is Maryam. So I told her that my Islamic name is Maryam. My siblings have an Islamic name too. My sister's is Aisha and my brother's is Ramadan. And I told her this and she's like, I like the name Maryam better than Jacqueline. I like that more. And I was like, okay. Anyways, she goes and she gets me a Quran, and then that story that I had mentioned happens where she's like, okay, it's $40, and I was like, no, I just wanted like a free one, the free Qurans that mosques give. And she goes, no, you just have it, take it. And I was like, okay. And she's like, okay, and you have to come for Friday prayer, you have to come Saturday and Sunday. And the thing was, this mosque was really far away. It was like a 40-minute drive away from where I lived, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna come here again, to be honest. I just didn't have that great of an experience, but it was a learning experience, if that makes sense. Like, it kind of just shows you, like, in ways, there's still beauty behind Islam, but there's also that aspect, that's just super daunting. It kind of pushes people away, and it makes you be like, whoa, that's a bit too much. At least for me. I'm not speaking on everyone else, but for me. And I was talking to my partner after, and I was like, yeah, that was kind of a lot. Let's just stick to our own thing for now. But yeah, that is the story.